Heyo everyone, it's AJ, and today we have a brand new episode of Bungo Stray Dogs. Woohoo! We are episode 2, season 5, and please mind my voice. I was at a gig last night, so I was screaming at Slovenian guys instead of watching this episode when it came out. Yay, hence why it's late. But anyway, let's dive into it, shall we, as we continue on the journey of the pain that is season 5 of Bungo Stray Dogs. Yay! So, we just kick off where we left Rampo and saying see if you just open your eyes, anyone can be a great detective, right? And then we see him in the back of a police car. As you do, Rampo, as you do. Although, that doesn't last long because Miranur comes and saves him because he's actually on Rampo's side because he's this makes complete sense because he's a good guy. He's one with an actual brain. So they think made a wee escape and whatnot, running away from the car, but it's just kind of crashed now because they went through the wee nail wall thing, whatever they're called again. I've just completely forgotten, but anyway, not really important. But yeah, so they kind of get cornered and they're thinking, great, this is it, we're kind of captured and whatnot. And then Maynard's just see, you think it's just me, but see all these guys behind me? Yeah, they're going to help you because they actually use their brains. So then you have the police fighting the fucking special ops guys that are going after fucking Rampo. And even Minoru's you do realise this is what you've done, right? You've split this armed forces and whatnot in two and whatnot. And he's well, kind of hope that would happen because then it's the actual good guys have been against the stupid guys. And then he brings up a good point. It's how did you know that was going to happen and that people were going to side with you? And he just goes, I didn't. Probably the first time that Rampo's actually going to be really honest about that, because he could have easily just been I just know. Because he's Rampo. He could literally just say yeah, I already knew that was going to happen. But he's just the fact that he's honest in that, saying, yeah, I didn't know. And it actually surprises me the fact that he didn't actually know it was going to work. And then it's just yeah, you're quite an idiot too. And then Rambo just being so cute as he laughs about it. It's oh, Rambo, you're so adorable. And with that, we kick into the banger that is the OP, getting to just jam out to that as we carry on through the episodes. And we join Atshishi back in Annie's room, and he's getting to see Kunikida, Yusano, and Rampo and all that for the first time, all back together again. And we get the nice, we get the nice wee scene of Atshishi jumping onto Kunikida for a hug because he's just so overwhelmed just to see them and whatnot. Just gonna say, I'm gonna be that bitch. It could have been done better, but anyway. That scene in the manga. Oh. Also, it was just in the episode, it was oh, Kunikida, he's all yours, right? But in the manga, it's oh, just let him, and Kurikida's just wait, what? And it's just obviously lets them hug him and whatnot. It's oh. But still cute nevertheless. And then Kunikida has his wee moment because he's oh, we're all back together and all that, and it's well, Yusano's here to heal us when we're hurt, Rampo's there to help us when we get captured by the enemy, we all balance each other out with our strengths and weaknesses and whatnot, and it's yay, cute. So actually feeling a little bit calmer now at the fact that the team's back together again. Well, for the most part. And Rampo goes yeah, Kunikida, you and Yusano, you go try and find Kenji and Tanizaki so then we can all be back together properly. So then with that, we cut to my least favourite person of the season. So we cut to Fukuchi, and although, see this scene, it makes me so happy to see this scene for him. Because I'm a crow bitch. But yeah, so these guys have came in from the UN and whatnot being right, we're making up this like counter-terrorism like organization, like we want you to run it and everything like that. And it's like, what do you say? Like, you're gonna come join us and whatnot. And then Fukuchi's just like staring at them, just like very like tense and like solid and whatnot. And they're like, is he actually going to say anything to us? If we pissed him off, if that we've like brought this to him and whatnot. No, the bitch is just hungover as fuck. Oh, wee Techu, who is adorable, by the way. Oh, Techu. Just being like, yeah, so he's hungover as fuck. He had all this fucking alcohol and everything like that, and then went in a fucking pub crawl. So he's suffering today. And like Fukuchi's just been like, I actually think it's the food you made me. And it's like, what kind of eggs did you use? And he's like, oh, frog eggs. It's like, of course Techu used frog's eggs to make up like this fucking dish. Which then just makes Fukuchi fucking throw up again. And I'm just like, yes, suffer, bitch, suffer. And do you know what? I'm gonna like spoil this right now. I'm so happy now that I can be mean to him, because at least at the end of the episode, I'm justified in being like a bitch to him. Well, to a degree, not got to that bit yet, but like we've got the stepping stones ready just to get me up to that bit for everyone who is just an anime only being like, oh, this is why you don't like him. I'm like, yes, this is why I hate the kid. Oh, but anyway, so Fukuchi's eventually talking about the thing with them. Because he's finally been able to talk now because he's thrown up so much. And he's like, right, I'll agree to doing this stupid organisation for you under one condition. And then with that, we cut to the little UN island that just happens to be like outside of Japan at the moment, because obviously the major terrorism thing is going on in Japan. Woo! And right outside of Yokohama. And the guy, well, one of the guys that was like pitching it to him in this meeting is like announcing it all to like the UN, and everyone's like heavily like disfavored of it, being like, nah, like this is just gonna lead to this and this, like, oh, that's not gonna work out, that's not gonna work, blah 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 blah, I'm gonna vote no, blah blah blah. Guy's obviously hearing everyone's very loud mumbles because obviously it's anime. And he goes, well, let me introduce you to the leader of this organisation. Da, 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 da. And lo and behold, obviously Fukuchi comes out. But everyone is just like, oh my god, it's Fukuchi. Oh my god. Ah! And the fact that, like, they made 3 movies about the shite that he did. Sorry, the hard work that he did that helped save the world. I am not a fanboy, so I will not be praising him. But yeah, so all these guys are doing it for me, so I don't need to. There's plenty for them. So they're like, oh my god, like, you did this, and we know what all of what you did. It's like, you did this, and you did that, and you did that. And it's like, can we get your autographs? And it's like, bitch, no. And he's just like, oh, guys, I've just like, what, like 3 minutes of your time just to talk it out about what this proposal could be and whatnot. And we, spoiler, little moment, but they were like, oh yeah, when you like dealt with the vampire stuff and whatnot, and I was like, oh, Bram. It was just like, soon. But, oh, wee Brammy moment. But yeah, so he's like talking about the fact that when this pitch came to him, he initially said no, mostly because he was hungover and he wasn't listening. And the guy that pitched it was like, wait, you weren't listening to me? You weren't taking me seriously? He's like, of course no. Of course he wasn't. Oh, but yeah, so he's going on, like, winning people over and whatnot, like, everyone's laughing at his stupid jokes and whatnot, and he's like, right, this isn't a joke though, this terrorism is a real thing, like, we're already losing and we can't lose, so we need this. So, I would really appreciate your yes votes, because that's basically what's going to happen. Especially because all of them are like fucking love with him, because they're so enamored by him. Can't relate. Oh, so with that, he goes into, I'm assuming, a wee room that he's just got on the island before he heads back to the fucking mainland. And lo and behold, there is Rambo just chilling on the seat, just being like, hey, I'm that terrorist you were talking about. Sup? And he's like, oh yeah, there's a phone on the table, if you need it, you can just phone them up and whatnot. And initially, he does pick it up, and he's like, right, security, don't come in for 5 minutes, don't let anyone else in for 5 minutes, just give some peace. And Rambo's like, oh, okay, you hear me out? Nice. He's like, oh, I don't need 5 minutes to convince you. He's like, I'm just gonna try and, listen to you, okay? We'll give you a chance. And Rambo's just like, yeah, I don't need 5 minutes to convince you. But then it's, really sad, because then it's just like, yeah, I'm here because, well, the president told me to, and he trusts you, and even though, all those many moons ago, when we started the agency, and you turned up drunk, and you, ruined everything. He's just like, yeah, can you not remind me, please? It's like, no, Rambo, remind him of all of his bad deeds, please. Make him feel shame. But yeah, so he's going on about how Fukuzawa is being like, right, I trust this man, I've known him for so long, blah 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 blah. And Rambo makes a point, it's like, I'm trusting you because of him, not because I've used my ability to deduce you and anything like that. He's like, I could spend time manipulating you into doing what I want you to do, but I'm not going to do that. I could literally deduce you from head to toe, but I'm not going to do that because the president says that he trusts you, so I trust him and I trust you. Regrets later on, but anyway. Oh, so he agrees, and then to basically obviously kind of be on his side, and they go out, and actually she's on the boat, in disguise, being very shady looking, he's not really blending in that well. And he's like, wait, he's coming. He's like, yeah. So he lowers ladders down so that Rambo can sneak onto the boat that they're going to basically nick somewhat. I say nick, they're not really. They're just kind of trespassing. And Fukuchi, just being the dick that he is, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna show off and I'm just gonna jump onto the boat because I can do that. Mate, really? So. He does that, but do you know what? Doesn't matter because Rambo just starts tearing him like an absolute new one. Because actually she said, he's like, oh my god, that's Fukuchi, we need to be really nice to him, we need to keep him on our side, and then Rambo's just burning him like nobody's business. It's like, you're middle-aged, you're old, and shit like that. Because it's like, what's with this sad sitting? Why are you trying to hide? And then it's just them bickering and whatnot, which is kind of adorable to see Rambo bickering, but I don't want it to be with him. Even actually she makes a comment, it's just oh, it's weird seeing this side of Rambo, and it's just yeah, because Rambo's probably being very vulnerable right now, because he's not having to show off or anything like that, because he knows Fukuchi, and at this point he's trusting him with the whole situation, so he's let his guard down because he's with people that he trusts. And then obviously the fact that Fukuchi's just bringing out all, really emphasising it, and it's a shame in hindsight, and it's, oh, but it's adorable to obviously see Rambo actually interacting and whatnot with people enthusiastically, in a sense, even if it's a case of taking the piss out of each other and attacking Fukuchi because he's pretending that he doesn't remember something. So it's once the boat starts going off, Rambo's is oh, we'll work out who Kamui is and everything like that, because actually says right, who's Kamui? Right, have you worked that out, right? And he's like, well, I've not put my glasses on yet, so I can't do that. But do you know what? I can't do that just yet because I'm very, very thirsty. And actually she's just like, here we go, here's a remedy, here. And like, because she's just like, do you just carry that around? And he's just like, oh yeah, every time I work with Rampo, I always have a juice because he's always thirsty. And gotta get him happy. So, obviously, he does. Takes a gulp, and then he's like, alright, here we go. Just don't tell Fukuzawa I'm putting the glasses on. So, Ashishi's just like, yes, buzzing. Because he obviously loves Rampo. And, like, Rampo's obviously then starting to break everything down. It's like, right, who is Kanwei? Like, this and this. It's like, right, he's must be, like, some way of a person that can, like, easily manipulate, like, Fyodor and Nikolai. So it's like, right, they need to have that kind of, like, I was going to say Riz, but oh my god, I don't want to say that for him. Oh god, I've said it now, fuck. Anyway, so, you know, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, also, pause moment. The fact that they put Fyodor and Nikolai in the red and blue colourings, like, come on! Like, so we have red Fyodor and blue Nikolai, like, why do you do this? Oh, although I would have swapped them round, but hey ho. But yeah, so now we've got Nikolai and Fyodor joining the red and blue club, along with Dazai and Chuya and Achise and Atagawa. There we go, red and blue club, yay! Oh, so whilst he's breaking it down, it's like, right, they need to know, like, how the agency kind of works, so that means they have to have a kind of close connection to see how, like, we would easily have been used to be as, like, the victim of all this crime and whatnot. And then, when it clicks in his head who it is, like, you can tell that he doesn't want to, like, admit that that's it. He doesn't want to accept that that's the answer. And it's such a shame because, literally, at that moment, he, like, already starts blaming himself because he already knows he's in danger because he's like, great, he's already clocked on, if I've clocked on to who he is, fuck. We only have, like, seconds. And it's like, oh, Rambo. So he just casually just walks up and gets, like, a smoke flare. And then, like, sets it off and whatnot. And actually she's just, like, staring at him like, what are you doing? Because obviously he's not exactly saying anything out loud. He's just like put on his glasses. He's maybe fought for like, 10 seconds or something like that. And now he's just walking to go get this smoke flare. And then he just goes, Atrishi, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, don't start doing this. Oh, Rambo, no. Because then in that moment, Fukuchi tries to attack Ashise and Rampo. Rampo, like, pushes Ashise out the way, and then he activates his emergency pole book, which gets him sucked into it so that he's protected. Oh. All the while, he's, like, shouting out to Ashise. He's like, hey, by the way, this is how his ability works. Just run. Don't try and fight him. You won't survive. Just go. Oh. And then he's stuck in the book. For safety. I was like, oh no. This is not how it's supposed to go. Well, actually, it is. But, you know what I mean. They were meant to be working together. But, one thing I will say, like, I quite like this moment, how they've, like, portrayed it in the anime, is the fact that Fukuchi's voice and, like, demeanour and all that just, like, changes, and it's just, ooh, good. Nice. I love it because he goes on about, it's like, oh, like, I was like the man of like 1,000 faces and everything like that, like nobody could really look through me, and like I could be anybody and nobody would question it, and yet the boy could look through me, and now I'm exposed, so I don't need to pretend really for the moment. I just need to keep up this facade for another 6 days because that's when I'm going to ruin everything. And then he's, obviously now I can be like, haha, you're an absolute dick now. And it's justified. Yay! Button. And next week, I'll be super justified. Hee. Spoilers. But anyway, so he ends up being like teasing Atsushi because Atsushi is like, right, what the fuck do I do? Do I run or do I like fight? But I need to save Rampo. I need to protect Rampo in the book because he's told me to run. But he's just like done all this damage to the AD, and I can't take that. That's just not allowed. So we're gonna fight, and then Fukuchi's just like, well, you know what? That's a good option. Like, you can either run, you can either fight me, but either way, you now know who I am. So I'm going to have to try and kill you anyway. So it's up to you what you want to do. However, I have the page here, and basically everything that I've done to ruin your life, if you take this from me, you can fix it. So I'm basically enticing you to fight me, you bitch. And with that, Ashley takes up the fight, and he goes, well, how are you meant to fight me without your leg? And Ashley's like, wait, what? And then, shunk, like, just goes, Bleh. Honestly, Ashley has no fucking luck with his legs. He always gets his legs cut, some shape or form, or they get, like, well, in the case of Nikolai, just, like, dragged through a fucking jacket, and then he's just, like, going through the ground. But yeah, actually has no fun in that. Like, no luck at all in regards to like how his legs just get so much bad treatment. Oh, but yeah. So obviously realizing it's like, right, great, I'm in the shit. We get the horrible fisheye. I hate it so much. Like, Bones, I thought you were going to be good and not do the shitty fucking fish eyes. Like, come on. Also, the fact that it's not even just on its own, if that makes sense, like, it's not kind of more steady frame going into the face. There was that little sharp, like, coming out and then kind of changing the, like, perspective of it. It's like, why would you do that? Like, come on. It already looks horrendous. Like, yes, you used it in previous seasons. Do you need to continue it? No, but you do. Anyway. But I like the bit that happens afterwards where we're having like all the red and everything like that, and then all the words kind of merge in and then creates Atsushi as he's going on about like how like he's scared and all that, but he's scared of like being alone and whatnot. It's not like he's scared of being dead or anything like that. He just doesn't want to be alone. That's his fear. And he's just like, I just need anyone, just like anyone to help me. I just don't want to be alone in this fight. And then we'll just like kind of pan out, and then his like guests are just going like, why is there like a smoke flare going off? Let's just go get security. And then there's a guy with like binoculars just looking out at the fucking birds in the sea. And then it just turns out, just takes the hat off, and it's like, oh look, it's Hatagawa, and he's being like very, very fancy in that moment. It's just like wee drama, just like, all you needed was the wee sparkles, just being like, maybe it's Maybelline. Honestly, you're looking a bit too pretty for taking a hat off, mate. Like, I know you're in a disguise, but really, that was a bit too much. And then he goes like, talking about how the impossible like prediction is coming true, and he's just like, and that's the end of the episode. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. If you know, you know. But anime onlys next week. I'm so sorry. I will not say anything in this episode. But, and also if people are going to comment in the comments about what's happening next week, please be nice. It's not fair, especially because of how big it is. Remember how we were when we first read it, so be nice. But anyway, so yeah, that is the second episode of Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5. Let me know your wee thoughts down below. What was your favourite part or whatnot, and are you now dreading next week if you're anime only due to my warnings? Or if you're a manga reader, how terrified are you? Oh, nah. I'm hoping they execute it well. I'm hoping. It's a big deal. I'm hoping they give it justice. But yeah, so we will be back next week with the new episode. Woo! And if you would like more Bungo content, I have a lovely little playlist. So if you want more Bungo content, you can subscribe, and if you like what I make, give me a wee like, it will help. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So anyway, until next time, I'm AJ, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.